monument in Springfield Park has been removed, but now Jacksonville City Council President is introducing legislation to prevent it from happening again without council's approval.
So First Coast News has obtained a copy of the legislation that would change the city ordinance and limit the executive authority of the mayor. Atia Collins is at the park tonight. So Atia, what was Mayor Deegan's reaction to this legislation?
Yes, when I sat down with Mayor Donna Deegan earlier today, she called this legislation disappointing and an overreaction. Now, City Council President Ron Salem said previously he does not want this monument to go back up here at Springfield Park, but his problem is the process by which it was taken down, which he says cannot happen again.
I understand he didn't do some things I think he should have.
City Council President Ron Salem is questioning the decision and the process used by the Office of General Counsel, claiming it was flawed, lacked transparency, and infringed on the power of City Council.
We should be protecting our influence and power. This has got nothing to do with monuments. This is about the influence of the Jacksonville City Council and a strong mayor form of government.
But questioning the General Counsel's integrity is something Mayor Donna Deegan calls inappropriate. Deegan says her administration went to the council multiple times asking if they wanted to vote on this monument, but they took no action.
To suggest that there was no knowledge on that side of the aisle that this was under consideration is just disingenuous. And I think it's interesting that the folks that seem to squawk loudest about transparency are the very folks who seem to have had transparency issues in the past.
If passed, the legislation being introduced by Salem would mean going forward, no funding, regardless of the source or the amount, could be used for projects on city-owned or managed property without prior council approval and appropriation. Deegan calls the legislation an overreaction and stands by the conclusion made by the General Counsel.
I think it's unfortunate that there's this overreaction to a one-time situation where we had a relic to Jim Crow that was sitting in the middle of a black neighborhood that I took the authority to take down because I had the authority to do just that.
Now, that legislation will be formally introduced at the City Council meeting, which will be held on Tuesday. Reporting in Jacksonville, Atia Collins, First Coast News, on your side.